Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 178 of Crunch Time. I'm going to be your host for today's episode. I am Tanner Dislin, and as always, I'm joined by Sam Gadsey, and we are the N326 duo. Samuel, how are we doing today, my friend?
Man, I'm doing good, Tanner. Little lull in sports right now, but we got the MLB trade deadline coming up, so that's always exciting. But for the most part, it's summer. Not a whole lot going on.
Yep, you said it, but yeah, in this episode, so we'll start doing a little headlines, just talk through what's going on, except for the trade deadline, because we have a big trade deadline special coming up later. We're welcoming on a guest, recurring guest, that is Braden Martelli. Hasn't been on since last year. He correctly guessed Jazz Chisholm was going to get traded to the Yankees, so figured we had to have him on and see if he can get some more right, like he did last year. And then we'll finish up. He'll stay for the Gimme Five, and we'll finish up with the Gimme Five. So, got a pretty good episode for the end of July. But we'll start with headlines, Sam. And we mentioned it'll be a pretty heavy baseball episode, but I figured we'd start there. Start in the baseball realm because we got some things to talk about there. Number one, I feel like we may have witnessed the greatest game in baseball history
Yeah,
from Nick Kurtz.
yeah,
I believe it was 3 days ago. At this point, as my computer is completely frozen. There we go. Yeah, he went 6 for 6 with 4 home runs, and I believe the other 2 hits were a double and a single. That's 19 total bases. That's ridiculous.
yeah. Dude went crazy. Broke obviously some records. Became first rookie to do it. To hit 4 home runs in MLB history. First athletics player. 6 hits, 6 at bats. Yeah, man. This dude went crazy. He tied Sean Green's 23-year-old MLB record for total bases. Faced 4 different Astros pitchers and helped the Athletics get a 15-3 win. Man, is exciting. Probably one of the greatest sports performance we've seen in a very long time.
Oh yeah, and he's a rookie. By the way, I don't know if you said that, but just in general, he's a rookie that went 6 for 6 with 4 home runs, and I believe his double was off the wall. So it
Yeah,
very easily could have been 5 home runs, which would have been a major league record. No one has ever done that before in a game. Just insane game. Of course, it immediately got compared to the Otani game when he had reached when he reached 50-50 last year. Because I believe in that game he went 6 for 6 as well, but I think he only had 2 home runs in that game. But yeah, just unbelievable stuff. And from a rookie, one of the top prospects in baseball. Looks like he's going to be quite good for years to come. Who knows if Vegas will be able to keep him in town, because it seems like that could be a place where he could shine. Vegas is looking for a star. They always are. Nick Kurtz could be that guy. So then we also got to talk about Emmanuel Clase.
yeah,
Sam, I don't know if you saw this.
yeah. I did.
So Emmanuel Clase, one of the top closers in baseball, had a rough start to the year, really locked it in over these past couple months. Last year was absolutely shut down until the playoffs when he stumbled a little bit. But a premier closer in the MLB throws 100 miles an hour, putter, fastball, just absolute gas. He's the second Guardians pitcher this year to be suspended among a gambling investigation.
Yeah, yeah. He might just be bad.
Huh.
He might just be because but seeing the tapes that I did, it's very hard to convince that he wasn't during it, but it also could be he is just that bad. Um, but yeah, definitely interesting that they're going after another Guardians player. I'm sure it's kind of like when all the NIL or the gambling stuff with Iowa State
Hmm.
came out. Everyone's doing it. You're just dumb enough to get caught at this point. And you cannot convince me otherwise. But yeah, definitely kind of a crazy case going on in Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't really know how to. I don't even really like. Just I assume because it's they caught him on first pitches of the inning. Is when they caught him,
Yeah.
and you could see those ones that were bounced. But like this one's weird because a random reliever getting caught like that, like it was kind of like to the NBA player Porter.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Jonte Porter.
Jonte Porter. Like this is like someone like to keep it on the was he this would be like Donovan Mitchell getting for gambling, and it's like whoa, like his name is one of the hottest in trade talks right now because the Guardians looks like they're not having the best year, and again, like I know this year his numbers have dipped a little bit, but last year he had an ERA of 0.61. That's an ERA plus, which standardizes it for the average pitcher would have an ERA plus of 100. His ERA plus was 674, meaning he was 574% better than the average pitcher last year. He was unbelievable. This year, ERA did jump up to 3.23, but still, that is after disastrous first half, still 29% better than league average. And yeah, the second Guardians pitcher to get caught. So this opened, of course, a can of worms to um, gambling culture in sports because it seems like we just have a problem in sports, and I feel like it's the Tim Robinson. Like we're all trying to figure out who did this because sports channels and sports marketing continues to promote gambling like no other.
Yeah. Yeah. No one should be shocked by any of this when it's thrown in your face constantly. And it's easy as a email and password to set it up. How many apps do you see advertising during a college football Saturday, during the NBA finals? They talk about the odds on ESPN. Almost every sports network you watch, they talk about it. They have live lines at the bottom ticker. It's just always thrown in your face. Um, so it's not surprising at all that there's players out there that have been gambling on games. They haven't had any they have very light regulations on it. The punishments aren't really doing much other than potentially losing out on your career, but
Clearly, not enough to
not
deter.
enough to deter. But I think it's a little too late to fix the issue.
It's just it's so because for a while FanDuel and DraftKings were like the books, right? They were in charge. That's where you went for sports gambling, and that's it. That's what they were. They were the gambling apps. Now, I don't think there is any world where ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, who has chief airing rights to NBA, who has Monday Night Football, who has some NFL playoff games. Uh, there's no world, personally, I think that company should be allowed to operate as
Yeah. Yeah, that I'm pretty sure Fox even has one.
Fox, one of the two chief
Yeah, I think so. I could be
companies for
wrong.
NFL, should not be able to operate a
But
sports.
yeah, but it's not going to stop. They're not going to shut down because they are making so much money off
Oh
of it.
yeah,
So, as big of a I yeah, it's an issue, but how many? So there's two Guardians players, Jonte Porter of how many games
Right,
being
right.
played. It, there's that it's gonna increase as time continues because it is so easy. And but we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
it's like if it's not enough players getting caught for something to be done about it, and especially when you look at how much money they're making. But the bottom line, yeah, I think these major channels, I think they could get away with like maybe one show for half an hour that's clearly marketed like it's a gambling first show, so people who want to be exposed to gambling lines and stuff can watch it. It shouldn't be on Sports Center as much as it is. It shouldn't be on, they shouldn't have Charles Barkley's parlay of the day, right? As they're about to get into a game that TNT is covering, or now is works for ESPN. ESPN is covering. That shouldn't be allowed, but it's the state we're in. And yeah, as you said, when it's in our faces, as much as it is, players are going to start dipping in, and we're seeing that happen already, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. Um, Sticking on the baseball field, Sam, it looks like the 2027 MLB season might not,
Yeah.
because I think it's pretty clear we're headed towards a lockout,
Yeah.
because Bryce Harper had some choice words for Rob Manfred. I don't know if you saw
Yeah, I
this.
did see this.
Um, the collective bargaining agreement expires after 2026. So there will be, obviously, where they're going to finish this year and they will play next year. Um, they will definitely play next year in 2026. After that, they will need to reach a new collective bargaining agreement between the players union and the league, the owners. Obviously, most owners want a salary cap, because some owners, like what the Dodgers have done, even the Mets with when Steve Cohen's come in and spent a lot of money, what the Yankees have done throughout the entirety of their franchise, which I don't want to get into that, but that's pushed the narrative for a salary cap in baseball, which obviously it does not have. Um, and it boiled over to when Manfred was in Philadelphia to meet the Phillies and the Red Sox players in their series a little bit ago. And he was met with the Phillies, and he spoke with the Phillies about a bunch of different questions and things going on in the in this what's going on with baseball, things like media rights and media coverage. Then of course you got the salary cap, and Bryce Harper said told Manfred that if he were to talk about the salary cap, he could get the F out of the clubhouse. Doesn't look like a good omen that they're going to reach an agreement in the next couple of years.
Yeah. I don't I think we're heading for sure to a lockout. Uh it's clear what's gonna happen. The big dogs, the big money makers aren't gonna want a uh a salary cap because they get all the big dogs, but Manfred wants a more even playing field, and I think that's why you would institute a salary cap, but he also realizes how much money teams like the Yankees and Dodgers, Red Sox, Phillies, those kind of teams bring to the league. So it's there's two sides to this coin. Do you side with the smaller market teams in hopes they produce a pretty level playing field, or do you roll with the guys who have been giving you millions of dollars through within the past however many years? And in the end of it, um, it's gonna be he's gonna roll with the big dogs.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting there, because like, yeah, some of those bigger city teams have larger TV deals that allows for more income. Um, Looking at owner owner net worth, um, the Yankees are number 10. The owner of the Yankees is the 10th richest owner in baseball, tied with the Twins and the Tigers, two teams that we talk about as being small market teams. Now, the Yankees have higher revenue through that, so that can be reinvested into the team easier. But, we're not talking about billions and billions of dollars in difference in the net worth of the owner. The Cleveland Guardians, quite possibly the team who spends the least amount of money, is $800 million higher net worth than Hal Steinbrenner of the Yankees. The Braves and the Nationals are tied for the third richest owner in sports, and the Braves obviously have had some success, and they've gone out and signed a bunch of players, but the Nationals don't, and it's just like I recognize that something can be done for the income, and that's easier to reinvest that income. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of teams have very rich owners that just refuse to spend money on their baseball team. And
so what's a salary cap gonna do with that?
right, exactly. Like if you impose a salary cap, the Twins owner who's spending $30 million on his roster and the cap is $100 million, that doesn't incentivize him to spend $100 million. Mm-hmm. He's just going to keep it at $30 million. Like we're just having that problem over and over again. And obviously the players don't want a salary cap. Why would you? So Juan Soto just got a $800 million contract. Like why would you? So it's seeming like we're at an impasse here, and the fix doesn't seem obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But it would just be 100% my luck and the luck of the New York Mets as an organization that the Yankees have won 27 world championships, spending more than anybody ever has, and it was never a problem. And the minute the Mets get the richest owner in sports and start spending out their ass, here comes the salary cap. Wouldn't that just be lovely? And I'm sure it's going to happen. But to round up the baseball talk, Sam, a little bit of a somber note. The baseball world lost a legend, and a legend specifically to the Chicago Cubs and Ryne Sandberg, who passed away just yesterday on Monday, as we are recording on Tuesday. He passed away with his well-documented battle with cancer, and it was a really tough because he's just a legend in our game and an absolute Cubs legend.
Yeah, super sad. He was kind of the guy for a lot of people. Kind of was the guy that a lot of Cub fans kind of start. It was him and Ernie Banks that kind of was the face of the Cubs franchise for so long. I mean, if you look at the stats, he was a 10-time All-Star, NL MVP, 9-time Golden Glove, 7-time Silver Slugger, home run leader. He's in the Cubs Hall of Fame, National Hall of Fame, and of course his Chicago Cubs number is retired. But yeah, absolutely a sad story, but like you said, Cubs legend nonetheless.
Yeah, Cubs legend, baseball legend. I'm really happy he got to he was at least there for being inducted into the Hall of Fame, his number retired, celebrated at Wrigley Field for everything he's done. But yeah, really somber note for sure, and the baseball world will miss him dearly for sure. So R.I.P. Ryne Sandberg. But moving on here, sticking with kind of a somber note, Sam. We'll switch over to the NFL. Deion Sanders had cancer and had his bladder removed.
Yeah. I don't think it's that. I mean, he beat it.
Yeah, he beat it.
So, I don't think it's a somber story as the one we just previously discussed. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that this didn't get out.
I know, right?
But say what you want about Deion Sanders, it's super cool beating cancer. I don't care who you are. So happy to see Deion beat that cancer. And he's gonna be back to coaching the Colorado Buffaloes this fall, which is crazy, but
Yeah.
yeah, pretty sweet.
Kicking cancer's ass is cool. So shout out Dion. The only other NFL headlines I had, Sam, two noteworthy NFL holdouts ended this week. So that's kind of cool. Terry McLaurin returned to Commanders camp. I don't think he's participating, so it's like more a hold in. And then Trey Hendrickson, which was announced like 20 minutes ago. Trey Hendrickson's going to be at Bengals camp
Oh,
from that
there you go.
from that holdout. So there's that. Justin Jefferson pulled his hamstring and is it OTAs? Is that what's going on now? Work? I don't even camp. I don't even know what it is.
I think it's training
Just
camp.
full on training camp. So from what I've heard, the Vikings camp doesn't seem to be too worried about the injury, but not great. Not great.
Yeah.
Rather it in July than September, October, though. So there's that. And then really the only other thing I had, Sam, more something a little bit more lighthearted is the WNBA. Someone's wig fell off mid-game.
I didn't see
You
that.
didn't see that? Like someone was running around a screen and her hair got pulled and her wig fell off, and then a fan was making fun of her and got ejected from the game.
Nice.
So we continue that trend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Safe space for everyone. Oh Lord. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean,
Yeah, that's tough.
so but I mean again, slower week in sports when the headlines are all about the trade deadline, which we will cover in a minute. But Sam, you got any other headlines you want to talk about? Anything else going on?
No, nothing really. People are pissed about Happy Gilmore too. I thought it was great. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have not seen it yet.
Um,
I've heard some things. I mean, it's not really one of those movies that I was like, wanted to keep completely spoiler free. I'll watch it. I'm sure I'll enjoy it because it's a Adam Sandler movie about a golfer that's meant to be funny and not meant to be taken all that serious. But alas,
Yeah,
film bros everywhere have to talk about.
I found it hilarious. Didn't have very high expectations
That's
going
it.
into it.
Were you entertained and did you laugh?
It was very funny, and I was entertained.
What more do you want from a movie, right? Especially Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah, exactly. And then other headline, the Cowboys offensive line is already depleted.
Oh boy.
Tyler
Oh
Guyton,
yeah.
neck or bone fracture, 4 to 6 weeks out. And then Rob Jones, he broke a neck bone in training camp. So just super bad news coming out of the Dallas Cowboys camp, but that's kind of all the headlines I had.
Tough offseason. Tough. I mean, again, really since last year, things have not been looking up for the boys. How are we feeling?
Not great.
Not great.
Not great.
It also doesn't help that the Super Bowl champions are in your division. You have to play them twice.
Yeah, it happens.
And the team that the Super Bowl champions beat in the NFC Championship game is also in your division and have to play them twice.
Sorry. I don't have very high expectations for the Bulls this year.
So you're saying is the Cowboys are Happy Gilmore too?
I guess. I think it'll be a little more sad and not very funny this season.
It could be so bad that it is funny.
I don't know.
Or at least funny to outsiders, not a fan.
Yeah, probably not to me.
That's fair.
Everyone knows when Dak Prescott's pressured, he doesn't do well. And being down 2 offensive linemen before the season starts, definitely
not amazing.
Oh, and he's coming off injury. So
yeah,
it doesn't matter though, according to Jerry Jones. So it's fine.
He's already
Tank for Arch.
He's already writing his next roast of the team.
Yeah,
as we speak.
Yep.
I think it's gonna wrap it up for headlines again. The main meat of this episode, the main meat of the sports world this past week, is going to be the MLB trade deadline, which we get into now with Brandon Martelli. Okay, Now we welcome on a very special guest, recurring guest, that is, first time in a while since he correctly predicted Jazz Chisholm to the Yankees 1 year ago. That is Brandon Martelli. Brandon, how are we doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back on, boys.
Of course. Well, it's that time of year. The sports headlines have been dominated with MLB trade deadline rumors. So we figured, why not have our guy on and let's just do a trade deadline special. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. And of course, he will join us for a Give Me Five at the end of the episode. But first, the MLB trade deadline. There have been a few moves that have gone through. The biggest one probably being Josh Naylor to the Mariners. And then Ryan McMahon to the Yankees, Gregory Soto to the Mets. Let's get into it, man. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with position players, starters, or relievers, or do you want to do something else? How do you want to start?
Let's start with the starters. I feel like there's a lot more starters on the move right now, or potentially on the move. So we get some starters out of the way.
There's always a need for starting pitching. So let's kind of go down the list here. I think the biggest name on that's being made available, would you say, is that Joe Ryan from the Twins?
I think Joe Ryan is the biggest name that's being floated out there. But if I had to predict, just based off like how much control he has and his age, I feel like they would need to be blown away in order to trade Joe Ryan. So me personally, I think Joe Ryan's going to be a Minnesota Twin at the end of this year.
That was going to be my next question. So where does Joe Ryan? What jersey is Joe Ryan wearing on August 1st? Our Brandon Stradamus over here says the Minnesota Twins. I tend to agree. I don't think they're trading Joe Ryan. But moving on here, someone I do think will get traded, Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have a couple names that could possibly be on the move. We'll start with Merrill Kelly. Brandon, where do you think he's going?
I think it's a toss-up between him and Zach Allen because I feel like they're both pretty much the same. But I think that the Yankees are going to trade for Merrill Kelly because they need that starter playoff experience. He did pretty good getting the Diamondbacks to the World Series, a few years ago. So if I think that he's going to end up as a Yankee, Merrill Kelly.
This is going to be a pretty boring video if we agree on everything, but I also think he's going to the Yankees. Sam, Merrill Kelly, what's your crystal ball tell you?
Yankees for sure.
Yankees. All right, 3 for 3.
Oh, dude, yeah, Sam knows ball.
Let's go. But now the other one, Zach Allen. Do you think he gets moved and where to?
It's hard to say. I mean, like every team needs a starting pitcher. I think a team that could use a starting pitcher it seems like they're going all in with the acquisition, not an acquisition, but extension of Vlad earlier, and they're in first place right now. I think he might end up in Toronto. Toronto could use that one extra starter, really. Yeah, so I can see him going to Toronto.
I should mention also Toronto traded for Sir Anthony Dominguez earlier today, which
that is true.
I failed to mention in my completed deals.
Yes.
But Zach Allen to Toronto.
Toronto, or I have him as in Toronto, or it'll go along with a player to be named later. But I think he could also end up on the Cubs. I see him in Wrigley.
I was going to say the Cubs. Took him. Yes.
Sorry.
I think he's going to the Cubs. And Merrill Kelly and Zach Allen, like they kind of seem just like, I don't know, one team. It's personal preference what team which team he wants. He could very easily go to the Yankees. Merrill Kelly could go to the Cubs. But I do think of the Diamondbacks pitchers, one goes to the Yankees, one goes to the Cubs. We know the Cubs, since losing Justin Steele earlier, and Imanaga's been in and off the
their pitching staff sucks.
We got a Richard Cubs fan here.
There we go. Yeah, huge Cubs fan, Sam, right there, letting us know.
Pitching performance with the Chicago Cubs this year. But yes, I agree with the Cubs. Sam, you in on Zach Allen, Martelli? Which one do you want?
I mean, it can't get worse. So bringing anybody in would be a plus to the Cubs pitching rotation for sure.
For sure.
Mhm.
Now let's see, where can we go next? How about we take a trip down, or we take a trip back in time and tell ourselves that in the big 2025, Charlie Morton is still pitching in the MLB, and he could be a trade deadline acquisition. Brandon, talk to me with old Uncle Charlie.
Old Uncle Charlie. Tanner, you're going to love him because he's going to come to the New York Mets and he's going to be that stretch. They're going to get him in the bullpen, just some extra help. I think he's going to be a New York Met,
Okay. All right.
personally.
Okay.
Or I could also see him in Boston as a little extra depth for Boston.
Sure.
I would say one of those two are my two spots.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you just like that's tough as we start to get down the list on, third, fourth, fifth best available starting pitchers. The teams are whoever doesn't land the top four starting pitchers that we just talked about.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the Mets making a move there because their pitching staff is getting healthy. So I don't think they make the big move for one of the top guys. So maybe he can make a spot start here or there, add depth, add length in the bullpen for sure. I don't mind that. I can't say I have a team in mind really because we're just talking about teams that need starting pitching, and we've covered them already. And your predictions were good as well. Sam, give me an Uncle Charlie, old Uncle Charlie.
Man, I got no clue. I think anybody could get him.
Anybody.
Honestly.
Anybody. Do you think? What about the Orioles?
I don't know a lot about the Orioles. I'm gonna be honest. Why not?
You think they should?
So
Yeah,
no
why
trade.
not?
No
Why
trade.
not?
No trade.
The Orioles keep their guy.
Orioles keep their guy, lock him down. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a bunch of Orioles fans did not expect to be sellers at this deadline. Another interesting name, a piece that was a highly touted prospect, come up, been serviceable in the major leagues. Mitch Keller of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Mitch Keller's hard because like when I look at more into Mitch Keller, like none of his stuff really blows me away. So like I like he could end up. I mean, obviously, we get down to like the 5 or 6 starters here, and it's really anywhere. I personally think he probably is gonna end up staying in Pittsburgh because I think if a team is smart, they're not gonna give up a lot for Mitch Keller, and like this could come back and he might turn out to be really good. But I just none of his stuff really blows me away. So I feel like it's a team would really like be lacking pitching. Like if he does get traded, I can see him going to maybe Atlanta, let's say, because they have literally no starting pitching at the moment. So I can see them making a trade for them. Mitch Keller's got a year or two of control, so maybe to have him on the back end of his contract. But it's not Atlanta or some random team for like a prospect trade. I feel like he's just going to stay at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Atlanta, another move that I forgot to mention before, they did go out and get Eric Fetty. So,
True.
Shored up that rotation.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, are there any other starters you think is worth mentioning here? I feel like we covered the top end of the market. And
I think
in the middle portion, it's just teams that don't acquire the top end talent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know a team necessarily, but two starters that come to mind that I think could be dealt. One being one's going to be Shane Bieber.
Sure.
I think the Guardians are kind of in a very odd spot where they could sell like their older talent to get some younger MLB ready players. So I could see some team, whether it's the Yankees who need that third pitcher in the playoffs, maybe, or any of these high end teams besides like the Mariners who have 12 starting pitchers. But literally any team, I can see Shane Bieber getting dealt, and I can also see Mackenzie Gore getting dealt from Washington. I think one of those. I think I would lean more towards those guys getting traded than not getting traded.
Really? Okay.
Personally, that's just me personally.
Yeah. Mackenzie Gore is a very interesting name. I know the Mets had inquired about him. I don't know how likely intra division trade is
Yeah.
there, but great. I mean, a great young lefty really finding his way in the MLB could help a lot of teams for sure. But relievers, I mean, every team ever could use relief help at the deadline. It's just how it goes in baseball. So again, we'll start at the top of the market. However, I think the top of the market just lost a potential name either today or yesterday. I don't remember when it was announced, but Emmanuel Clase, we talked about him earlier in the episode. Looks like he won't be dealt because he is dealing with issues.
Yeah, he's got some issues.
He's got some issues.
He's got some issues. It just seems to be the deal in Cleveland.
Exactly that.
Just seems what they do.
High rollers over in
Cleveland.
Oh yeah. If it's not Clase, then the top end of the market is probably going back to Minnesota. Yohan Duran.
Yeah, I would say I think just from what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, like I don't want to be homer guy here, but I think it looks like Yohan Duran and maybe even Griffin Jacks, like those two are kind of the same for me out in Minnesota. I think that one of those two are gonna. I think the Yankees desperately need bullpen help.
So do the Mets.
And I don't know, it's a little hard with the Twins and Yankees. I feel like we don't have like the best relationship, although we made the great Josh Donaldson Gary Sanchez swap years ago. So, but I personally would love, and I think the Yankees could kind of go all in on Yohan Duran, Griffin Jacks / those two with maybe Willie Castro thrown in because they want that last bat. So I could see them maybe making a trade for, I would say Yohan Duran / Griffin Jacks. I would also love Danny Cullums.
Coulomb.
I don't know. There's a weird B in there that throws me off. But we need a lefty. We need them. If we could make a deal, I would send a lot for Danny, and Duran, Jacks, and Willie Castro. One of the two of Duran and Jacks, obviously. But if we get three of those four, I would take that.
Right now,
I think that's what they're going to do.
Right now in the pitching market, it seems like Minnesota holds the cards, especially with the Clase news. So it's really interesting to see what they want to do, who they want to package, because the Yankees are desperate for a bullpen arm. I could tell you the Mets are desperate for a bullpen arm as well. Maybe even two. Probably not a lefty because they just went out and got Gregory Soto. So you can have two. But, yeah, I mean, Griffin Jacks I think would be the perfect name to go back to the Mets. And obviously a lot of teams will be interested in that. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Minnesota wants to play this. We kind of covered those three guys. I mean, officially your prediction. I know you talked about your desire. What's your prediction of those Minnesota?
My prediction is, they're gonna go in. They're gonna go. I would say the Yankees.
All of them.
I think that. Like all three of those. Oh, you want all three of them?
I mean, the Minnesota
guy. I would say hopefully call them to the Yankees, and then I would say one's gonna go to the Yankees. The other's gonna go. Well, yeah, whether it's Jack, I would say Griffin Jacks hopefully is more likely to the Yankees because I think with Luke Weaver and Devin Williams, you kind of have your closers, and I don't think we need like all three closers there. So I would say one of them goes there, and I think the other guy goes to Detroit and although that might be a little hard with the in division rivals. Now I think about it, so maybe Detroit. I could also see Milwaukee because I think Milwaukee needs that one or two extra relievers in the bullpen. So let's go with that. I'm going to go Yankees and Milwaukee for those three.
I know, obviously, I talk about Mets issues with their bullpen. I know they were the name that they were linked to the most was Jacks because of Diaz, obviously, and he probably won't cost as much as Duran.
Sure, yeah, I can totally see him going to the Mets.
Who knows? I think Duran is going to the Yankees. I don't know if Minnesota does both Duran and Coulomb to the Yankees. I don't know if they decide to package those. I'll go Griffin Jacks to the Mets because why not? And then I'll go Coulomb to the Tigers.
Yeah, there you go.
Why not?
Why not? Fair enough.
Another big time reliever, Ryan Helsley from the St. Louis Cardinals.
I I mean, again, it's the Yankees, the Cubs, the Mets, like they all need relief help. So it kind of comes down to everybody needs that. Again, the Cubs might be a little hard because it's in division. In division, it's a little hard to do that. Um, obviously the Dodgers are always an option. They always could use extra pitching, especially with how injured they are. So I could see him. I could see him ending up in LA. I think he might be a Dodger. They could use that back end help there. They don't really have a clue. Like they have Kirby Yates. Tanner Scott went down. Kirby Yates is not, exactly there. So I could see him going there. I could also see him going to Philly too. Because Philly could really use that last guy. So
yeah,
I would say either LA or Philly.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna make a switch. I'm gonna go. Coulomb goes to the Cubs, and then Helsley goes to the Tigers.
Okay, yeah.
Just for the division stuff, and
right, fair.
Deal. But I do like Helsley to the Dodgers. I think that's I like that pick a lot. I agree. The Dodgers. I mean, they have the most talented roster seemingly ever. They've struggled. Not much has come out of the Dodgers camp this trade deadline. I feel like they're gearing up for something, and Helsley could be that perfect move to cheer up that bullpen and that pitching staff that has been so injured all year long.
Yeah. You agree, Sam?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which guy do you think the Cubs should target?
Like I said,
all of them. All of them. I like that. The Yankee trade you were talking about, Sam's going to make that happen. Give me all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I think really, I mean, again, we've talked about the relief market a lot. I mean, some of these names like the Pittsburgh guys, like David Bednar, Dennis Santana, more of the same, it feels like, right?
Yeah, I mean, Santana was on the Yankees last year. I thought he was actually pretty solid, and they let him go. He kind of, restarted his career in Pittsburgh, but Bednar's hit or miss. Like, I mean, if you're a team, you need a guy with strikeout stuff, I would go get David Bednar. Dennis Santana, he's going to probably get traded because he's in like a 1-year deal in Pittsburgh, but his stuff scares me a little bit. He's a very high strikeout guy. He could also walk 3 batters in a row, and you just wasted an arm and now bases loaded. So I could see them getting traded too. I think Dennis Santana definitely gets traded. David Bednar is a little questionable just because he has some ties to Pittsburgh. But
to me, one of them Dennis Santana screams a Toronto Blue Jay.
Yeah.
Like another bullpen move that they make on the margins.
Mm-hmm.
And the other name worth mentioning, I guess, would be Anthony Bender from Miami. He's probably out the door, but again,
just who wants him?
Personal preference between all these kind of level 2 relievers that'll be available that could definitely help some teams out. And now I think the where we really get down to brass tacks here is the position players, because these are the most exciting. So top of the market. Do you think the top of the market is Eugenio Suarez?
I would say so. I think he's I would say he's the biggest name. I mean, the biggest name being floated out there. There's always rumors of a Mike Trout getting traded,
sure,
or people like that. But I've even heard some Cunha rumors floating around there. I highly doubt that happens. I highly doubt Mike Trout gets to
another 5 years for $20.
Yeah, for $8. Yeah,
a year, yeah.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, obviously, those names usually get thrown out a lot. But I would probably say, besides Ryan O'Hearn, because he was technically an all-star, the only other all-star that I think is going to get traded position-wise is going to be Eugenio Suarez. And I think he's going to end up in the Cubs.
No Brandon Lau.
I don't think Brandon Lau gets traded. I think Toronto's going to make a move. Or not going to make – not Toronto. He doesn't play for Toronto. I think Tampa's competing. I don't think he gets moved yet.
Got it. Again, the only reason I ask is because the rumors today, as of Tuesday, was the New York Mets are heavily interested in Brandon Lau and Pete Fairbanks from Tampa. So we'll see how that goes. And
okay, I could say, yeah. I mean, first, he absolutely could get traded. I honestly, I haven't seen anything about Brandon Lau getting traded, but I could definitely see the race. That's kind of the race thing, right before you sign a contract, trade him away.
I haven't.
So absolutely.
I didn't see a thing until today. I saw the Mets were interested. So apparently, the Mets were interested last year as well and tried to make a deal happen that didn't get done last year. Interestingly enough, but and he was an all-star, so he could be. But yeah, you think the only two. So where's Gino going? I mean, third base help. Obviously, the match seemingly made in heaven was the Yankees, and they decided to go elsewhere with Ryne McMahon. So where's Suarez? What jersey is Suarez wearing on August 1st?
I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna wear a Cubs jersey. I think he's gonna go to Chicago. Kind of could use some third base help. Matt Shaw hasn't really been as productive as they want to. Justin Turner, I don't even know if he plays third base for them anymore. But
Yeah,
I could see him
definitely. Shaw's
getting.
not the guy. Turner hasn't been playing a whole lot from what I remember.
Turner even play third base anymore?
I think he's a
first base DH
playing
probably.
a DH role for the Cubs, but yeah. Suarez is a problem and would be a great asset to the Cubs. I wouldn't mind having him on the squad.
I like that. My official prediction, I think one of the best teams in baseball makes the splash they should have made last season and goes out and gets a third baseman. Eugenio Suarez, the Detroit Tiger. Sure up that lineup. Take what Bregman should have taken in the offseason and be that anchor third baseman, power hitting third baseman for the Tigers as they make their push for the American League. So that's where I got Suarez. I mean, I think the next one is Louis Bob.
Yeah, Louis Bob's probably the biggest name that would be traded. And I'm conflicted with him, but if I had to pick, for some reason I feel like he may not get traded. I feel like the White Sox are kind of like, in a way, that they're like, this is our guy and we're gonna kind of not build around him, but like we don't need to trade everybody. You gotta trade everybody. So he may stay. If he was to get traded, depending on if there's any other moves to be made, but assuming they're not gonna make any other moves for position players. I know I've said them a lot, but I think he could be playing center field in Queens for you this season.
I would love my wish list before the trade deadline. Lefty reliever, Soto, check. Righty reliever, I would like Griffin Jacks to be that righty reliever, but I'm open to other options. And then center fielder, Louis Bob would be great as long as we don't overpay. Because, I mean, we've seen the track record for former White Sox players as soon as they leave and start swinging the bat really well. At Andrew Vaughn. I would love Robert to be a New York Met, and I think he will as well. I'm going Louis Bob to the Mets. Sam, is he going to the Mets?
From what I've seen, it seems highly likely.
Let's go. I love it.
I love that from you.
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot. But other position players, probably the next most sought after outfielder, Jarren Duran from the Red Sox.
Yeah, I was more likely that they were going to trade Jarren Duran this offseason. Oh, not this offseason. At this deadline, but since I believe it was Marcelo Meyer went down with an injury. He has like this wrist injury, Marcel. So he's been out like a few times already since being called up. I think that the Red Sox are going to try to make a push for the playoffs right now. They just came off like a 10-game win streak, so they're back in it. I think they're going to trade for some starters, get maybe a reliever. So I think they're going to keep Jarren Duran. They're going to keep him in center and they keep him in the outfield because now you can just move Rafaela to second base and let him play. So I think he's gonna stay.
I also think he's gonna stay. I totally agree with the injuries, and to be honest with you, I never really, I thought it was possible. Then, like you said, they started winning. They traded Devers. It's like, okay, some organizational depth gone already. Then they started winning. Okay, now we're making a push for the playoffs. Then they started getting hurt. It's like, okay, now you need the bodies. I don't think Duran is getting traded. I think he will still be a Boston Red Sox come the deadline. Some interesting names on here. Obviously, we talked about the other All-Star, Ryan O'Hearn, having a good season for the Orioles, a team that is massively underperforming. Do you think he gets moved, and where to?
I think he definitely gets moved. If I had to pick, I would say he could either end up in Texas. They could use that extra bat. He can play first base and he can play the outfield, so he can be kind of the replacement for Nathaniel Lowe that the Rangers lost. Or I can also see him ending up in Cincinnati, because at Cincinnati, has a very good starting five right now, especially since they just called up Chase Burns. They could use a little extra bullpen help, but if I could see him in Cincinnati too, just because they need just a little more pop in that lineup. They don't really got in Cincinnati, so I think they could be. He could go to Cincinnati. They're not like too far out of it right now, Cincy. If he could go in there, get them going, maybe that's a guy, bring him in for half a year, try to re-sign him, and then you have your cleanup hitter for the next few years. So I could see him either in Texas or Cincinnati, personally.
I like that Cincinnati shout a lot. You could use some offensive help. And rumor has everyone's saying is that they are looking for offensive help. And that's a good move on the margins and not one because they're probably not pushing the chips in this year. But get some help in the door, and then possibly look at re-signing in someone like you said can be versatile as well. Do you think Adolis Garcia gets moved? You just mentioned the Rangers and their lack of offense this year.
Yeah, I think if they do trade for Ryne O'Hearn, that means I feel like they're not going all in, but they're trying to make playoffs now. And I just think that, based on like not many teams really need an Adolis Garcia. If he was to get traded, I could see him being one of the guys that gets traded to Cincinnati to get them some pop. I could also see him going to San Diego potentially for a year or so. I think San Diego could use that one extra outfielder. Obviously, he has problems this year, but they've lost some production with losing Jurickson Profar. So their left field hasn't been the same since he left. So I think that he could go out there potentially and play for San Diego. But I would lean more towards him staying. But if I had to predict, I think he'll be another bat in San Diego for them.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I do think he stays as well. I also think actually bring up San Diego is an interesting point because I think the outfielder I would say they're most likely to get. I know I said he probably wasn't leaving, but I think Jarren Duran might end up in San Diego if he does get moved. Like perfect spot, slide him in left field, and and he'll be good there with Merrill in center. I'm looking through here. I don't know. You got any other position players you think is worth talking about? Because it seems like it's a very pitching heavy deadline as it seems to be in recent years. But you got any other names? We talked about Willie Castro. We talked about O'Hearn. We talked about a lot of these guys.
Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of it's very pitcher heavy. I could see in one of the deals for either Griffin Jacks, Johan Duran, I could see Willie Castro getting traded.
Sure.
Somewhere in there. And then I think the Twins, if they were smart, I think they should be sellers because like they're kind of booked up on their contracts in a way. My dream trade acquisition this year for the Yankees was Carlos Correa. That's who I very wanted. That's who I wanted very badly. Obviously not going to happen now because we got the GOAT Ryan McMahon. But with that being said, I can see Willie Castro getting traded. I don't think Correa is going to get traded, at least in the deadline, maybe an off-season deal. But I could also see Harrison Bader getting traded. He could be one of those guys who ends up in San Diego.
One of those outfielders.
He goes back to the Mets if it doesn't work out with Luis Robert. He could go back to the Mets. Really, just any of the teams. Maybe even Seattle. Seattle could kind of use extra help in the outfield. They don't really got it in Seattle. I feel like they can use an extra bat or two now.
Sure.
I could see him in Seattle as well. So I would say Harrison Bader and Willie Castro both most likely get traded than staying in Minnesota.
Than not. I like that. Okay, so we went through the pitchers, we went through the relievers, we went through the position players. Brandon, one last question for you. Who will be the biggest name traded at this trade deadline? Because I got to be honest, it feels like it's been a couple years since we've gotten the Juan Soto level trade or the Max Scherzer, Trey Turner level trade or any of those big time trades that make you stop in your tracks. So who's the biggest name we see traded?
I think the biggest name that's going to get traded this year is probably going to be Eugenio Suarez. Like, not a huge name. But, it's almost like there's too many teams kind of in contention this year to
Not
really
enough
give up a
sellers.
big star. Like, there's not that many sellers this year. You extend the playoffs to basically every team except for two make it nowadays. That how many teams are going to end up selling? So
Yeah, it's very true.
I think Eugenio Suarez, if not Eugenio Suarez, I know I mentioned him earlier. I think maybe Carlos Correa, but even that I don't think is likely. So I would say the biggest one is Eugenio Suarez.
All right. Yeah. Seems like what everyone expects. I mean, of course, it's going to be active because the MLB trade deadline, one of the most electric trade deadlines in sports, but relatively tame, according to, or at least compared to past deadlines. Anything else you want to say about the deadline, man? It should be an interesting one. As of recording, we have 2 days to the deadline. The day this is released, today is the deadline on Thursday, so we'll know. We'll know that day exactly how we did in our predictions. So, anything else you want to put a bow on the deadline?
No, man, I'm really excited to see it. I love this time of the year. I love the trade deadline.
Yeah.
It's some of the best. It's honestly some of the best times in sports is trade deadlines, especially MLB. It's so chaotic.
I mean, especially when teams are playing, everyone's on hug watch. Everyone's on, prospects getting pulled from their double, triple games. It rocks. It absolutely rocks.
Yeah,
but,
it's
to wrap up the episode, we're gonna do a Give Me Five with our special guest. We've done these with guests in the past. Brandon's done one with us in the past. Today we are doing Give Me Five appetizers. Appetizers.
A lot of food. Give me fives for me. I don't wonder why that is.
A lot of food. Give me fives. I'm also currently very hungry, so we'll see how this goes.
Oh, true.
We'll see how this goes. But Brandon, you're a special guest. You want to kick us off? Where do you want to pick? 1, 2, or 3?
I would love to pick second here. Actually,
he's going second.
I'm very nervous picking one. I would love two.
Sam?
Snake draft, right? Snake draft.
Snake draft.
I would love two, please.
I'll go one.
You're going one. I'll bat third here. All right, kick us off, Sam.
Yeah, the best appetizer 1-1. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The triple dipper from Chili's.
Oh, all right. Triple dipper from Chili's.
Oh, so we got 3 appetizers?
It's one item on the menu, is it not?
Oh no, I was just curious. I don't know if it was gonna be like we're gonna get to choose a food or we have to pick the specific item. But
I mean
that
I wouldn't say that I think you could still choose mozzarella sticks even though they're in that, but I think that's a valid appetizer.
fair, yeah. I mean you can't eat the triple dipper, you eat stuff around the triple dipper, but I'm down. Great pick.
All right, your pick now.
All right, well, since I can just pick everything still that Sam has to offer because it's a triple dipper, I feel like I could get a 1-1 here. I have to choose specifically. I'm going to take mozzarella sticks right here.
Mozzarella.
That's insane. Big Italian boy here. Love mozzarella sticks. And if I have to pick certain one,
Italian boy.
Oh, hey there, hey now. But if I had to, I'm going to take the Applebee's mozzarella sticks. You ever see the cheese pulls on those on TikTok? They're amazing.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go mozzarella sticks. Easy 1-1. I'm glad I got it here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is one I can't really. I'm shocked it got to me at 3. I'm gonna go with wings. I'm going wings. I'll gladly take that. And then as we circle around, bunch of good options here. I'm gonna go with the pretzel bites and cheese.
Very good. I love those picks, Tanner. I think those were great picks. I wanted to go wings, but you know what it is for me personally. This is me thing. I'm not saying that you're wrong here. I eat wings a lot, like as my main meal.
Yeah.
So I felt bad choosing it. That's just me personally. I'm not saying what you picked is wrong. They are an appetizer. I just couldn't go there myself.
I just think it plays so well in the graphic. Even though
100%.
When I get wings, I do get them for an entree, but it plays well in the graphic. And it is.
Oh yeah. Hey, if you get them the triple dipper, they're an entree. So or they're an appetizer
anytime soon.
So
chicken crispers, way different.
Sorry. All right. Next pick. Paul Goldschmidt just dropped the ball. Sorry. So, it's a close one, but I think I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to go with sliders. I love a good cheeseburger slider. Sam's shaking
right.
his head. He didn't even pick a food for his. And he's shaking his head at me. Unbelievable.
For my second pick, I'm gonna go with classics. I'm gonna go queso. Queso with my second one.
Chips and queso.
Do you want the chips included or just the
Yeah.
sauce?
And then for my third pick, I'm gonna go bacon cheese fries. Can't go wrong with bacon, cheese, and fries.
All right.
It's a very good pick. But I'm going. Now you guys can let me know if this needs to get vetoed. But on top, if not only bacon cheese fries, I like the loaded potato wedges. You know those like big boy potatoes with the cheese and bacon on them. We eat them at we used to have them at our buddy's house, Tanner. You know what I'm talking about? Like loaded potato skins.
Oh, potato skins. Yeah,
Potato skins. Yeah, I a lot of wedges too, but like because it's hard because it's potato
for sure.
So yeah, potato skins.
Because I'm picturing like the old KFC potato wedges.
Yeah, like not quite those. They're like the thick boys.
Yeah. Potato
They're like
skins,
us.
for sure. Potato skins for sure play.
Yeah, so I want to take potato skins.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm getting some pretty good value here. I mean, in the three, I'm gonna go with cheese curds.
Yep, that's a good pick.
Cheese curds.
It's a big cheese fry round for us.
And then on the wraparound, with my fourth pick, I'm gonna go with the fried pickle. Fried pickle.
Oh.
He hates pickles.
Sorry, I'm mentally throwing up
right now. I'm not a pickle guy, but fried pickles are fire.
Yeah, I'm sure they're great. If you could show me a pickle right now, and I might throw up.
Fried pickles are definitely fun.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad pick. People love fried pickles. I asked my mom. That was one of her go-to appetizers before we got on here. Shout out Karen.
Tell Karen that she knows ball.
Mom, you know ball. She's not here, but I'll tell her. All right. Sorry, one second. I gotta charge my computer here because it's dying. So it's back to me, right?
Back to you.
I am going to go with fried calamari. I love fried calamari.
Good pick.
Very good. Gonna lock that down right now.
Underrated for sure. That's a good pick. Good value.
Thank you.
Oh man, lots still out there. I'm gonna go a little different route from what we've been going, but I think this still plays. I'm gonna go crab rangoons.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the list.
Never had one, so
absolutely on the list.
Missing out.
They're fire.
I believe you.
That's your fourth?
Yep. And then
how you rounding out?
Fifth pick. I'm gonna be basic. The best bread out there. Olive Garden breadsticks.
Okay.
To round it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I had garlic bread on the list, which kind of.
Yeah, I had there too, so I'm gonna avoid it now because I feel like it's pretty similar.
Yep.
So I'll stay away from that. So I've already had 4 picks, right?
I believe
this is my last pick.
Yep.
What do I have? What am I forgetting?
Yeah, what? Mozzarella sticks?
Mozzarella sticks, sliders.
Oh, potato skins. I forgot about the potato skins.
And calamari.
Actually, there's 2 here that I'm down to 2. I don't know which way I'm going. But I'm gonna say this is an appetizer. Not a lot of places have it. I feel like it's more like a quick grab and go at a lot of quick like delis and stuff like that, like late night munchie type of stuff. But I'm gonna throw out mac and cheese bites out there. And if you guys want me not to take it, I'll happily go with something else.
No,
I think that plays.
They count. Okay, not very common, at least in a lot of places that I go to around here. But if that counts, I'm gonna take mac and cheese bites out here.
I think that.
I know your audience has to be tons of stoners, so I think I'm going to lock this down.
And then I think I know where I'm wrapping it up here. I'm just going with the tried and true nachos.
Yeah,
You know,
classic.
that's gonna wrap it up for me. Same. Repeat. Want you repeat your 5 for us?
Yeah, so we got the triple dipper, queso, cheese, bacon cheese fries, crab rangoons, and Olive Garden breadsticks.
All right. Yeah, I have. I don't know if it's in the exact order, but I got what? I got mott sticks, mac bites, sliders, potato skins, fried calamari. That's amazing to me.
All right, and mine. I mean, I got wings, pretzel bites, cheese curds, fried pickles, and nachos.
Yeah, Tanner, you know what I love about and Sam too. You know what I love about all of these lists is that like most of our appetizers go into the triple dipper, and I love that for us.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much got the triple double covered and the actual thing itself. You got any honorable mentions here?
I got my honorable mentions. I got honestly just two. I don't really eat one much. I have shrimp on here, like a shrimp cocktail.
Shrimp
A
cocktail.
lot of people like shrimp. I'm not a shrimp guy, so I didn't want to try to I'm not playing for the fans. I'm playing for myself. I didn't want to go against myself.
Not a pick.
Not pandering. Yeah, I'm playing. So shrimp, and then I was gonna go with garlic knots. I think garlic knots are like a free pizza pie at a nice pizza restaurant. Could always go garlic knots, even garlic bread. But once the breadsticks were taken, I kind of stayed away from it. So I went with. Those are my two that I have on my list.
Yeah, I have a lot out there still.
I got a bunch as well.
Outback Steakhouse, blooming onion.
Onion rings. I had the onion rings on there for
tableside guac. Texas. I had some other breads. I had Texas Roadhouse rolls, with of course the brown sugar butter, Cheesecake Factory brown bread, spinach artichoke dip.
Yep, had that.
Big pretzels, oysters, bruschetta, crab cakes, pot stickers. This one I was shocked you didn't take, Tanner. Jalapeno poppers.
I have it on the list. I didn't take
it. Yeah, that's true. I was shocked you didn't take that, actually.
I love me some jalapeno poppers. Just felt like the other ones played better on the graphic,
Yeah, pandering. I agree.
Yeah, I pandered a little bit.
That's fair. Understand.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of them have been said. Had the spinach artichoke dip. Pigs in a blanket. I don't know if anyone said that.
Yeah.
Jalapeno popper I had on the list. Potato skins I had on the list. Rangoons I had on the list. Garlic bread for sure. I also had just one of my favorite. When they bring you I guess it's more of a side, but when you get a side salad and then they bring it to you before your food, and he kind of plays as an appetizer. That rocks.
No, I can't relate at all.
That rocks. But instead of picking vegetables, I took fried cheese because that.
Yeah, smart. Food that's fried is way better than fucking rabbit food.
Oh man.
I should have gone with it because I am really big into it. I don't know if I should play it, but I just soup in general, like a nice cup of me personally, it's like clam chowder, but a nice cup of soup before my big meal. I love that.
Clam chowder, miso, if you're feeling
like that. Yeah.
Feeling a little Asian.
Can you say that?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah, I mean I think that's a pretty damn good give me 5. Lots of options. Good stuff, fellas. Well, thank you so much, Brandon, for coming back on. We missed you. I know we didn't capitalize on your usual spot for the NBA playoffs.
You can blame the Phoenix Suns for that.
I sure will.
Mostly, you can basically just find Mike Budenholzer and tell him it's all his fault.
Budenholzer's fault.
Is that on our coach?
No, it is. Okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was. Yeah, his fault.
Ishbia.
No, Bradley Beal's fault. Fuck that guy.
Bradley Beal's fault.
I can get on board with that.
Maybe Matt Ishbia forgetting him, but I like what Ishbia is doing. So.
All right, fair enough. But
all right, boys,
man, we appreciate it. We'll have you back on maybe next week for a post deadline.
Whoa! Give the people what they want. I agree.
Give the people what they want. Well, A wise man once said, "You're a recurring guest. You have to come on whenever we want you to." So
That's fair, 100%. All right, boys. Well, until next week, then. Lots
until
of
next
fun.
week, we appreciate you.
Always
buddy.
love coming on. Thank you, boys.
Yep.
See you, Brandon.
See ya.
Later.
And that is going to wrap it up for episode 178 of Crunch Time. Talked about a lot in this episode. Did some headlines. Talked about some big news in the MLB that's not deadline related. And some things around camp and Deion Sanders beating cancer. And then, of course, we talked about trade deadline with our buddy Brandon Martelli, recurring guest, one of our most common guests, I guess. And then we wrapped it up with the Give Me 5 Appetizers with Brandon as well. So great episode. Make sure to follow the podcast on X, Instagram, and TikTok at crunchtime_pod. Make sure to follow the YouTube Crunch Time with the N32620 or subscribe to the YouTube, I should say. But the clock has run out on this episode, and we'll see you in the next one on Crunch Time.
Yeah.